Alright guys, so today we got a Jeep Wrangler. The issue the customer complains about is cylinder number 2 misfire. Now he already went through a mechanic and they changed, apparently they changed the injector, they changed the coil and all 6 spark plugs. So I know these engines, they have issues on the heads, on the valves and the cams that wear out. Now this engine is not making any weird noises or anything, so I'm gonna have to do everything from scratch. So I will have to remove the intake manifold, the cylinder, the coils, the injectors, the spark plugs, probably remove the valve cover gasket, valve covers, to check the cams out to see if there's any other loops worn out. And then from there, probably going to put all the parts from this side to this side to see if the issue travels over to the other side. If it does, then we know that it's easier to change anything on this side than it is over here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and I'll keep you guys posted. Basically, we gotta remove the intake manifold, so we gotta remove the intake pipe, the filter housing or whatever. We're gonna remove that. Throttle body, we got a bracket here on this side, some hoses here, the studs that hold it here in center. Move the piping around. Now on this side, that's where everything gets a little bit tight. That same bracket, the 2 bolts there, I'm pretty sure it has another bolt out there on the underneath the throttle body. Then there's this bracket right here, the 2 bolts, that is already one missing, and underneath it should have 2 bolts which they never put back on. Yeah, this mechanic is not the best, so they never put those bolts back on. So, and then we just gotta move these hoses, the clips and whatnot, so we'll be able to take the intake manifold off. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, by the time this video is made, I already have 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing. I'll probably do a video just to show the appreciation of 1,000 subscribers. But yeah, this is another video that I'm doing by myself today. My employee is in another job at the moment, so I'll be doing the diagnosis on this one by myself, so hopefully we'll get it done soon enough. But yeah, so we got remove that, pass the injectors and the coils from one side to the other, check the spark plugs. Once I have all that taken apart, I'm most likely going to do a compression test before I go in deeper, and then I'll remove the covers to check the cams if I don't see anything out of place. Usually if the valves are cracked or anything, you should be able to see it through the center here, looking inside. If they're cracked or something, we'll be able to spot it. But yeah, let's get to it, and I'll give you guys posted as soon as I do some improvement on taking it apart. Alright guys, so at this moment there's a bracket here. This bracket right here bolts to the intake manifold, and it bolts to the valve cover gasket on this side. It's pretty tight in there, and unfortunately I don't have a swivel, so I have to go the long way. I didn't want to be there with the little ratchets, because at the end of the day I have to take the valve cover off to check on the cams, because I'm going to do that on both sides. I have to take the battery and the box out. So that's a fuse box, and obviously it has, after you take the battery and the cables off, it has 3 nuts here. 1, 2, 3. That's one right here. It has one right here, and I believe one here. And then you got your perch valve here, which you just press on this little black thing so you can pull the line, and then the same over here. You press on those and you can pull the line. Take those out, then you're on the fuse box. The fuse box has a little clips on the side. These little clips here, you push those so it will kind of move up out of place, and then you got all your plugs on the bottom of it. Okay, just be careful whenever you unplugging those plugs. Everything is brutal, easy to break on these cars. So you got that, and then now you got the box, and I'm assuming there's nothing else holding it in place, so it's just a matter of kind of getting it out of the place. But I'll let you guys know if there's something else holding it. But so far it's still pretty tight. So I don't know if there's some bolts from the bottom holding it, which I'm gonna have to check to see if there's any holding from the bottom. But so far that's what I'm working with. Just be able to clear that valve cover and be able to check it. And when you're gonna put it back together, the plugs are only go one way. So that's that. And I haven't taken any of the stuff out yet, just because, you know, I was trying to get that bracket out. So hopefully I do that real quick, and then we keep on moving forward. Alrighty, keep you posted. Alright guys, so here are the two bolts that I was telling you about. Those two right there, and then you got the side of the head. You gotta remember that you still, before you take the cover off, you still have back here that pain in the neck sensor that you gotta take out, that breather, to be able to remove the cover. So keep that in mind. For that, you just move everything out of the way, and now you got access to that. And if I do that, then probably gonna start heading this way, because this is mainly where the issue is. I gotta clear the space so I could check the spark plugs, the coils, and then the cams out. So I'll let you guys know in a little bit. Alright guys, so right now took the trade off, we got the bracket off. I inspected the spark plugs, they were all loose. So I just did that. Now I'm trying to do the compression test before I physically start looking at the valves, and then to remove the cover. So I plug in my fuse box, my battery. Obviously a lot of sensors are off, not a big deal. So I'm already doing the test on this one, and right now it looks like about 80 psi. 80 psi is what that cylinder is reading. So I'm gonna mark it down here. So let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one is reading 80. Alright, so we're gonna go down all of them, see the difference, and then go to the other side. We're gonna do all of them over there, and then we're gonna see the valves, if there's any cracks or anything that we can tell. But the compression test should be able to tell us if there's any anomaly on the cylinders. So yeah, let's keep on testing, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I finish the compression test. Alright guys, so definitely we have an issue on this head right here. So I'm gonna run you down how to do the compression test, that way you can check it yourself. So right now I'm on cylinder, the farthest one on the back. So they're hooked up, gauge is reading 0. So I'm gonna try it again, don't mind the beeping. So this is the last cylinder, and we're gonna check to see where it goes. So that's a good amount of cranks. The gauge already kind of stopped, so let's see if you can read that there. Alright, so it's about 140 psi. Okay, so you'll hook your quick connect. This gauge setup is really good because it has a quick connect on it, so you don't have to keep on twisting the gauge itself or anything like that. And you don't want to hand tie it too tight, just because it has a little rubber underneath of there. If you tie it too tight, then you gotta fight it to be able to get it out of the cylinder. So let's see. Let's crank. This is the middle cylinder. Let's crank this one. Alright, so we have definitely an issue here. That's 90 psi right on the clock. Okay, so that's the middle cylinder. Let's go to the first one, because this is going to be the same procedure for all the cylinders. And remember, the engine is kind of free, spinning free at this time, because it doesn't have any plugs on it. So it's just free spin at the moment, which that's what you want. You want to see the reading. So let's do the first cylinder on this side of the head. Alright, just about a good amount of cranking. And as you can see, it stopped about 80 psi. So that means that we have about 60 psi difference. From 80 to 140, about 60 psi difference on the very first cylinder. And on the second one, we got about 50 psi difference. So we know that these two cylinders are down completely. These two cylinders, there's something wrong in there, that the compressor is not holding up. Now we're going to repeat the same process on the other side. And I'm going to show you guys the results on that side as well. And that way we have compression tests on all cylinders and we can compare them all. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright guys, so now we're doing the very first cylinder on that side of the head. We got the gauge at 0. We're going to crank it. Let's see if you can see that gauge. Let's crank it and see what she does. Okay, good amount of cranks. So we got about, come on focus, about 140 psi on that one cylinder. So let's come over here. I'm gonna write it down. 140 psi. Now we're gonna take cylinder on this side. Sure that it's secure. Get our gauge. I'll set it up there. Take the pressure off. So it's at 0. And let's try again. Let me see if I can lower down this window real quick. If I only knew how to lower this window. Keep in mind, this car only has 78,000 miles. So it's really not that many miles on it. Okay, so alright, let's look at the gauge. Okay, plenty of turnovers. So that one cylinder, it gave us just about 150. So we're gonna write it down of 150. So 150. So let's do the next cylinder, which is the last one. Which obviously, you know, you find the fire in the order of this engine, and then that tells you exactly which cylinder it is. I'm just going by the little diagram I did just so I know which cylinders are down, and then I can find out specifically the fire in order, and I'll find out which cylinder is the ones that are actually down. I'm pretty sure this is 2, 6, 8, and 1, 3, 5, I think, on that side. All right, so let's do the last one. So 0. Do some cranking here. Ready? So we're back to finish compression, and that one is about 140 on the clock. So about 140. So 140. All right, so this is telling me that these 2 front cylinders are down completely. Now, if for any given reason the loop on the cam, it's not pushing down enough, it should admit it. It just means that it doesn't open up the valve that much, but it will still close just because the cam loops are around and the spring is supposed to close it. The valves are obviously there, they haven't dropped, so they need to open and close. Now, that the valves might be bent or the head is bad, and that's why it's leaking out the compression. That could be it. The guy doesn't have the plugs. They will all just change and they all look about the same quality on them, so they don't have oil on them, so that means that it's not burning oil. So that being said, that just tells us that these 2 cylinders, they have a bad head due to the fact that compression is low, it's not burning oil. Let's see, what else could it be? Not burning oil, compression is lower than the other cylinders. That's about it, because a back cam will give misfire because it's not going to open up the valves, but that could be the issue, that it's not opening up enough. But regardless, it should still hold compression. It shouldn't be low compression. So that being said, I'm gonna check these 2 valves and see if they're actually closing up and down, and if they are, then this is the issue. So I might not even bother tearing it down anymore. So, but all right, guys, let me do some other things and I'll get back to you guys right now. All right, guys, so I finished putting everything back together. The customer doesn't have the funds to fix the issue. We definitely have a bad head. The car's not smoking in the back, so most likely it's just a bad valves that are not closing right properly. They're all known for having this issue. So yeah, the customer doesn't have the funds to fix it. So I put everything back together the same way it was, and yeah, that's about it. That's as much as we can do. So for you guys out there, these engines, they'll have that issue, and it's sad that they have that issue, because at the end of the day, you know, these cars will look pretty good, especially if you put some wheels on it or stuff. They come out to be pretty cool, and they look cool. But unfortunately, they have that engine. As you see how that engine is shaking a little bit, that's because of those 2 cylinders. There's not much we can do about. So yeah. But anyway, guys, alright, for the next one, like always, share, like, subscribe, and help me help you once we get it done. If I can help anybody in anything, just let me know. Alright, guys, to the next one. Later.